Right, welcome year 7 to our next tutorial on using sequins in chains. Okay, so you can apply sequins as a single or you can apply them in chains, and you've seen one of the previous tutorials that shows you that. So here is the piece of work that I'm going to be working on today. We've got a stencil design and I'm going to add a sequin chains going round the side. Now what would this look like? Well, very simply, year 7, if you have a look at this example, you can see that chains of sequins have been effectively overlapped. Notice how the sequins are the same size, and if you want to get a theme to this, you might want to organise your sequin piles before you then put them onto your work, as this student did. So for this task, because we're working with sequins, you can do the same with beads, is that you need a fine needle, and you need that doubled up, and you need a knot going at the end of that thread. So I'm just going to tie that knot in there. Now at this stage, because our work has been sewn together, I need to make sure that I do not sew through all the layers. So when I'm sewing, I'm going to keep the back of this apart, so I'm only sewing through that back layer there and that front layer there, so going through one layer at a time. Decide where you want your sequin chain to start. For me, for tutorial today, I'm going to start from the middle and work my way round. So needle goes round the back, poke it through, and then secure that so that when you pull it through, the knot is all the way through and at the back. Then select your sequin. You might want to dab your finger before you pick one up, it makes it easier. Needle through the hole, slide the sequin down the needle first, then slide the sequin down so it is touching your fabric and sat there securely. Don't over pull, but at the same time you don't want to make sure that it's secured there. Now how to tie these in place: take your needle and to the side, the circumference of the circle, you poke your needle in so you can just see the needle then there. Pull it through again at the back, making sure that you're only going through one layer at a time and pulling through. Now to chain these up, I'm going to take my needle back inside. I'm going to poke that needle through again. I'm going to add another sequin onto my needle. Just going to dab in your finger, making sure they're of similar size. Getting the sequin, poking it through the hole of the sequin there, through the needle first, then down to your fabric, and you'll start to see they chain or overlap with each other. Again, to hold that in place and the circumference of the sequin, poke it through, all the way through, and secure with that stitch. I'll do a third and final one so you can see how these are chaining together. Just make sure that if you have any knots forming, you can just unloosen those and then pull it back through again. And then one more. So needle in, on the edge, pull through, nice and tight. Get a sequin, wet your finger, find one that's similar size, so this one is on here, and again poke your needle through the sequin, pull it down to the side, and then secure that on with another stitch, and so on and so forth. So you can do outlines of things, you can do outlines of lettering, you can do outlines of fish, you can do singular eyes, or you can do lettering like this one. Thank you very much.